Hello guys, and today we are looking at the evolution of gaming and ArmA 3 and how the ArmA franchise progressed from the beginning. The ArmA franchise started development by Bohemia Interactive at the turn of the century. The first ArmA game was ArmA Armed Assault, which was released in 2006. This was released to the CZAC Republic / Germany first, and then it was released to the rest of Europe and America in 2007. The game at this time was set on the island Maldon in the Mediterranean. This game was run using the Real Virtuality Engine 2. This engine was tested and has been used throughout the whole series, but in the future that will probably change for ArmA 4. The first DLC by Bohemia was ArmA Queen's Gambit. This was meant to be a downloadable content for the original game. ArmA 2. ArmA 2 is the second full version of the game released to Microsoft Windows. This game was released June 2009 using the Real Virtuality Engine. The first mod version of DayZ was released on this platform, which required the other standalone game, Operation Arrowhead. ArmA 2 Operation Arrowhead. Operation Arrowhead is another standalone game for the franchise, and was released in June 2010, a year later from the original ArmA 2 game. This game was released using the Real Virtuality 3 game engine. This was the same year that Minecraft was released. ArmA 2 Reinforcements. ArmA 2 Reinforcements is another standalone game expansion for ArmA 2 for the ArmA franchise, and included the downloadable content of ArmA 2 British Armed Forces and ArmA 2 Private Military Company, which can be purchased as a standalone. ArmA Cold War Assault. In June 2011, Bohemia Interactive re-released Operation Flashpoint as ArmA Cold War Assault. As Codemasters retained the right to Operation Flashpoint trademark, owners of Operation Flashpoint, Cold War Crisis, and the Game of the Year edition may download and install the latest patch for free, and the game is available for purchase via a number of digital distribution channels. The release does not include the Red Hammer expansion, which was developed by Codemaster. The game uses the same engine, Real Virtuality, as Military Simulator BBS1. ArmA 2 Firing Range. ArmA 2 Firing Range is a standalone for Android and iOS and was released in July 2011. ArmA Tactics. ArmA Tactics is a standalone game for NVIDIA Shield and other Android devices with NVIDIA Tegra 3 and Tegra 4. It was released in May 2013 using the Unity game engine. ArmA 3. Here we are today. ArmA 3 is a standalone game for Microsoft Windows that released on September the 12th, 2013, using the Real Virtuality 4 game engine. It was first opened to the public on March 5th, 2013, using Steam's Early Access program. In later 2015, early 2016, it was also released for Linux and Mac in an earlier version, aiming to catch up with the main Windows version later. ArmA Mobile Ops is a standalone for Android and iOS. It was released in June 2016. That is the latest ArmA game that got created. The ArmA games were, they started out as a military sim. They sort of got used. They weren't very realistic when they started. They were quite arcade-like. But they had a certain feel to them, which their players sort of liked. And I've sort of fallen for this too. And so, as the years gone by, the developers have extracted more out of the real virtuality engine, and eventually led to what we are looking at now. And what we can play now is different to what we used to be able to play. Anyway, the certain DLCs that you can play on ArmA 3 are as follows. You can play the Jets DLC, you can use the Walls of War DLC, you got the Melbourne Free DLC, and you've got Tech Ops DLC and the Tanks DLC. The Tanks DLC was the latest DLC to be added to the ArmA franchise. ArmA 3's development over the years has gotten so good, but so bad at the same time, because they don't want to optimize it. The truth is that ArmA cannot be optimized using the Real Virtuality 3 engine. It's already optimized to have the best graphics possible, but the performance of the game on mainstream computers is pretty poor, which is unfortunate. Anyway, the development of this game has given birth to other games. Back in the day, ArmA 2 was very popular. This was largely due to the fact that DayZ was first introduced. And yeah, DayZ branched off and turned into its own game. It took a little while, but it got there. So, as you can see, what I am doing is I'm sort of in combat situation. I'm playing it in first person. Now, when in a minute, maybe, possible, I could, if I wanted to, I could go from first person and change it to third person. ArmA 3 and all the ArmA games, they've sort of got the option between first person and third person. But, yeah. I mean, so if we look at a game like PUBG, then that's all third person. GTA, that's third person. ArmA 3, you've got the option. But, funnily enough, do you want to know where the idea of PUBG came from? Well, it's your lucky day. So, a little while ago, some guy created ArmA 3 King of the Hill, and then later on, this sort of developed, and then PUBG came along. This King of the Hill was used in ArmA 3, ArmA 2, and yeah. So, ever since the first King of the Hill came along, they've been modding the game, and things have been getting different, and they want to improve. So, the original developer of the mod decided to change it and made it his own game, using ArmA 3 as a base game to start with. And then it originally ended up having Player Unknown's Battleground, and he was playing in third person, like I am now. It has the same sort of driving and shooting as third person ArmA 3. So, I mean, they're pretty much the same. I mean, they're based off the same sort of, well, I mean, PUBG has got a certain concept to it, but like, ArmA 3 is like, that's where the general idea comes from. Anyway, the DayZ series, well, started out as a mod for ArmA 2. Then the mod developer decided to develop it, and he kept developing and developing. He developed a mod for ArmA 2. The mod for ArmA 2 eventually got bought out by Bohemia, and Bohemia made a game called DayZ. And this game, unfortunately, hasn't really been updated much recently, and sort of been left in the drought and sort of been ditched. But the ArmA 3 DayZ is still being improved by the current mod developer, and so life goes on. But it is brilliant how the idea of DayZ came from this series of games and how it formed. It's just crazy to think that this can happen. Anyway, this game has inspired many games and is the mother of all games. I would advise anyone to play this, and I would also, even though it's like 5 years old, but it's still good, it's still up to date, it's still with it. It's a very good game. The development is good, but it does take a while. Anyway, this series evolved from a very poor to a very good series. It started off back in 2006, pretty small. Wasn't made by Bohemia originally. It grew up. Slowly the game just kept gaining players and more people joined. Only recently was it that ArmA 3 got 5 million players playing it. I mean, it's not that big game. It is a very big game, but it's practically, endless what you can do in it. I mean, yeah, the sky's the limit. You could basically do King of the Hill, you could do roleplay, you could do first person shooter, you could do something like CSGO, something like COD. It's just good. Like, you could just do so much. I really think that a lot of games should take this game and use it as a base for other games. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys get this game and have a look at it. It definitely has evolved over the years, and I hope the evolution of this will help in the future for other games. I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.